If you handed me $1,000 today and said, "Make this grow," here's exactly what I'd do. No hype, no get-rich-quick garbage. Most people either waste their first $1,000 or feel paralyzed, waiting for the perfect time to start investing. But the truth is, the act of investing that first 1K is more powerful than where it goes. Why? Because it builds a habit, a system, a mindset. This video isn't about turning $1,000 into $1 million by next year. It's about how to start, smartly, simply, and with confidence. Let's set one thing straight. Investing isn't just for the rich. It's for anyone willing to plant the seeds early. Because $1,000 invested right, with discipline, can lay the groundwork for your future wealth. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to divide that $1,000 into 5 parts. I'll explain exactly where I'd put the money, why each part matters, and how it fits into a beginner's financial plan, even if you've never invested a dime before. And stick around, because in the final section, I'll share the single biggest mistake beginners make that can wipe out everything. Let's break this down. Here's how I'd split that $1,000. $500, index funds, VOO or VTI. This is the core. Index funds are baskets of hundreds of top companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, all in one purchase. They're low cost, low maintenance, and have returned an average of 8 to 10% annually over the long run. You don't need to pick winning stocks, just ride the market. Warren Buffett himself recommends this for beginners. $200, high yield savings account. This is your cushion. Emergencies happen. Car repair, surprise bill, job hiccup. You want money that's safe, liquid, and still earns a bit of interest. With today's rates, you can get 4 to 5% APY. That's $8 to $10 per year just sitting there, no risk. $150, fractional shares of growth stocks or ETFs. Use this to explore themes you believe in: AI, green energy, cloud computing. Buy fractional shares of big players like Nvidia, Google, or thematic ETFs like QQQ. This part carries more risk but also more upside. $100, REIT ETF, like VNQ, real estate exposure without owning property. A REIT, real estate investment trust, pays dividends and adds income diversification. It's often overlooked, but incredibly useful for long-term passive income. $50, invest in yourself. This might be a course on investing basics, a productivity book, or tools to start a side hustle. $50 won't make you rich on its own, but it can multiply your income if it improves your skills or mindset. That's the full breakdown: 50, 20, 15 to 10, 5. It's a balanced, beginner-friendly mix that grows with you and teaches you how to think like an investor, not a gambler. Let's apply this to real life, because where you are today affects how you invest. You're 25, fresh out of college, working a 9 to 5. You're not rolling in cash, but you want to get serious. This $1,000 strategy sets up your foundation. Repeat it every few months and suddenly you've got 4K, 5K invested by next year. Momentum builds. You're 35, married, maybe with a kid. You've got some debt, a mortgage, or just financial pressure. In that case, you might adjust $300 to index funds, $300 toward paying off high-interest debt, and the rest into your emergency fund. Flexibility is key. You're 45 and feel behind. You think, it's too late. It's not. You may not have decades ahead, but you can still build a safety net. In your case, prioritize safety, maybe 40% to bonds or savings, 40% to index funds, and 20% to income-generating assets like REITs. The point is, this $1,000 strategy isn't one size fits all, but it's a powerful starting blueprint. Tailor it to your life, and remember, consistency beats perfection. Up next is what ruins most beginner portfolios, and how to avoid it completely. Most people don't lose money because the market failed them. They lose because of 3 things: chasing hype, timing the market, not having a plan. Let's break it down. Chasing hype. That hot stock tip, the latest crypto coin, or a Reddit-fueled moonshot? That's gambling. If you don't understand it, don't invest in it. Period. Timing the market. Waiting for the perfect entry is a myth. Even pros get it wrong. The average investor underperforms the market because they buy high and sell low. Instead, set a schedule. Invest every month, rain or shine. No strategy. Without a plan, emotions take over. Fear and greed ruin portfolios. That's why this $1,000 split works. It gives you structure. You know what each dollar is doing and why. You've made it this far. Now let me show you what happens if you actually follow this plan. Let's say you repeat this $1,000 plan 4 times a year. That's $4,000 annually. At just 8% average market return over 10 years, that turns into $58,000. And that's without raising your income, starting a business, or getting fancy. Now imagine if you start investing more each year, reinvest dividends, and avoid emotional decisions. That's how real wealth grows. So, to recap, start with just $1,000. Follow the 50, 20, 15, 10, 5 strategy. Be consistent, stay patient, and keep learning. Comment below. What's your plan for your first $1,000? And subscribe. Because in next week's video, I'll show you how if investing in real estate is still worth in 2025. See you there.